Hi friends, good day. In the last class we had general introduction to buyback of shares. In today's class we will be learning why we should go for buyback of shares, the logic behind, and also the accounting treatment and few more issues relating to buyback of shares. So before I go for explanation, today's class, first we will be learning the accounting treatment of buyback of shares, that is accounting entries. Then we can go for the accounting, why we are going for buyback of shares, how the conditions that has been mentioned for buyback of shares as per the Companies Act, and those things we discuss. So the learning objective of today's class is that first part I'm going to give you accounting entries, then I'll be telling you, discussing with you three sources of funds for buyback of shares, the logic, and the most important from the examination point of view, we need to apply three test three test. So the problems I'm dividing into where you need to write entries without applying three tests, where you need to write entries with applying three tests. Entry is same. For writing the entry, we need to have how many number of shares have been bought back. How many shares have been bought back is nothing but buyback of shares. How many shares have been bought back is nothing but buyback of shares by the company. So whether that buyback is as per the provisions of the Companies Act or not. So that is very important. So I my objective of today's class is, at the end of the day's today's class, I want to give you first entries for that, the logic for that, then the sources, why we have to go for the sources, why we need to use the sources for buyback source of funds, the logic for that, and three tests which we need to apply, and then one problem we work out. Then from next class onwards we can work out the problems, right? So the first point which I will be discussing today with you is that the journal entries for buyback. Journal entries for buyback. I told you that no company can go for buyback of shares unless they are fully paid up, fully called up, and fully paid up. We have discussed all the shares. This is important before I go to that. All the shares for buyback must be fully paid up. Must be fully paid up means unless it is fully called up, it cannot be fully paid up. Okay, now first entry. Suppose, to explain this, if situation arises, I am telling you, so far I don't remember any problem based on that, but having said, just watch out this. To make partly paid share, to make partly paid equity shares, as fully paid up. If at all, this is not a condition, if at all. That is, if at all. If you don't have it, it's not compulsory. A. You know the entry? Equity share final call account debtor. Equity share final call account debtor to equity share capital. To equity share capital. Next, B. On receipt of final call, you write entry bank account at R2 bank account at R2 equity share final call. Okay, second entry. To realize investments to provide cash for buyback. To realize investment to provide cash for buyback, like you learned in redemption of preference shares chapter. I told you there is a bit of connectivity to the redemption of preference shares and buyback of equity shares. See, redemption of preference shares means as per section 55 you are redeeming the preference shares, because no company can issue preference shares for more than 20 years except infrastructural companies, you know that. So the when you are redeeming the preference shares, for redemption of preference shares, per making the payment to preference shareholders, we have seen in group 1 you are selling the investments. Similarly, generally the company, whatever the reserves are there which is in the form of investments, no, to get back the money, nobody want to have ideal cash with them. The cash, what are the cash they are having, like they will be investing. Now even as individuals, like if you or me, somebody is having some want to save something, extra earnings, generally they go for fixed deposit or by buying mutual funds, etc., something like it is in the form of investment. Whenever you want, you can sell it and you can get it back. Similarly, to make a payment, buyback means you are buying your own shares and making the payment to equity shareholders. It is also according to Act section 68, we have learned that already. Section 68, conditions for buyback, three sources of funds for buyback. Section 68 subsection 1, I am not giving much importance or much significance for the sections, but just I am briefly telling you that. In the last class I have given you chart also. What sections are applicable. In the last class we have learned that. Okay, so that particular thing is not so important for us today. But having said that, so why, when you want to go for buyback of shares, articles of association is allowing you to go for buyback shares. Articles of association is allowing you to go for buyback of shares, and also which is within the provisions of Companies Act 2013. That means you are going for buyback of shares within the provisions of Companies Act 2013. So in other words, the difference is the redemption of preference shares, you are redeeming the preference shares totally, or like partially depending upon the class of preference shares issued, that is different. But in case of buyback, we are having certain condition to what extent you can go for buyback of shares. So for making the payment, you may need to sell investment. So that is what we are writing. To realize investment to provide cash for buyback. You may be, suppose 100 rupees investment, you may be selling for 90. Then entry will be a bank account at, or say, for example, 90. Loss you are transferring to profit and loss account, say 10. If profit and loss account is not there, general reserve. General reserve not there, revenue reserve, like that. Bank account at R 90, P&L account at R 90. To investment account you write 100. Okay. Suppose if this is being sold at 110, then this 10 rupees won't be there. You are selling the investment for 100, but you are getting a profit of 10. Then you write to P&L account 10. So I am giving combined entry. This P&L account, this is sale proceeds. This is book value. This is for profit. Suppose if you are selling it, this is going to be loss. You don't have both. You will be either having profit or loss. Okay, this is second entry. To realize investment to provide cash for buyback. Third point. To issue fresh shares. To issue fresh other kind of shares. I have already told you, fresh other kind of shares. Other kind of shares means, you know that equity share, for buying the equity shares, you cannot issue equity shares. You have to go for preference shares. That is what I am writing. To issue fresh other kind of shares or securities. Say preference shares. When you are buying equity shares, you have to go for, if you need funds through issue of shares, you don't have investments or investment is not sufficient, say preference shares or debentures. To issue fresh other kind of shares or securities, say preference shares or debentures. Clear? I am giving only for entry for issue of preference shares. A. On receipt of application money, bank account at R, to preference share application and allotment account. On allotment, you know, preference shares can be issued at par or premium. If at par, preference share application and allotment account at R, to preference share capital. To preference share capital, or you can write direct entry also. Preference share application allotment, preference share application allotment got cancelled, we can write bank to preference share capital. When problem we do like that only if a question comes. Then second one, If at premium, I think you know that security premium account is to be created. Next, the entry will be preference share application and allotment account data are to preference share capital preference share application allotment account data to preference share capital account to security premium account. On allotment, if at par, preference share application allotment account data to preference share capital. 2. If at premium, preference share application allotment account data to preference share capital to security premium. Okay, so these entries you should write when company is going for fresh issue of shares, for that is what I told you, proceeds. You are going for collection of money for making the payment for buyback of share. When you are buying the shares back, you need to make payment. For making the payment, you may issue, you may either sell the investments or you can go for fresh issue. Okay, and this fresh issue advantage is that you are also satisfying the legal provisions that I'll tell you after completion of this. Next, third entry is third or fourth? Fourth entry, yeah. Fourth entry. Equity shares buyback account data, that is, first let me give the heading, to make payment on buyback of equity shares. Equity shares buyback account data to bank account. This is with amount paid. Equity shares buyback account data to bank account. Fifth entry. To cancel the shares bought back. To cancel the shares bought back. To cancel the shares bought back. This is important. Equity share capital account data. Suppose I'll give a small example to explain this. Equity share capital account nominal value, say 10 rupees. This is a nominal value. And you purchase this equity share for 30 rupees. 10 rupees is the nominal value, but you are buying back your own share at 30 rupees from the market. Then you will be getting loss, no? That loss can be written off against security premium. So that is what I am writing here. Securities premium. Say 20 rupees. With premium means the 10 rupees face value of share you are buying for 30 rupees means 20 rupees premium. So normally security premium account shows credit balance. When you are debiting security premium, it means you are reducing from security premium account. That means loss on buyback we are adjusting from security premium. This is loss. Loss we are adjusting with the premium. Or suppose this 20 rupees loss, but I got security premium 5. Balance 15 rupees I can adjust from general reserve. Security premium account, general reserve account with balancing figure. That means the security premium loss, general reserve is also loss. It means the loss you are adjusting. Say for example, I told you 10 rupees item, 10 rupees share value, face value, you are buying it 30, but you got security premium 5. I am adjusting the loss with 15 rupees from general reserve. First I try to adjust the loss out of security premium. If it is not sufficient, I can adjust from general reserve. With balancing figure. 2. Equity share buyback. With a total. Clear? So read the entry. To cancel the shares bought back, equity share capital account debtor, security premium account debtor, general reserve account debtor, equity share capital account debtor, security premium account debtor, general reserve account debtor to equity share buyback. Clear to all of you? Then next, 6th one. To transfer free reserves to capital redemption reserve account equal to the nominal value of equity shares nominal value of equity shares bought back. Out of free reserves. To transfer free reserves to capital redemption reserve account equal to nominal value of equity shares bought back. You know, see, you can go for buyback of shares out of free reserves, we have learned. Similar, redemption of preference shares can be redeemed out of divisible profits. Free reserves are nothing but the reserves which are as per latest audited balance sheet, which are available for declaration of dividend. They are called as revenue reserves. The same logic. I think that particular redemption of preferences concept is useful for you to understand it better. That is why I'm taking that example. To transfer free reserve to CRR equal to nominal value. Amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to nominal value of buyback share. Simple. Here we can say in simple, amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to nominal value of buyback of shares. This is for the time being you are having. One more formula also you are having. This we are having in steady material problem. Amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to nominal value of buyback of equity shares minus nominal value of nominal value of fresh issue. Nominal value of fresh issue that we are having just a minute. We can work out that later on. Just a minute, I'll tell you so that future we can work out on that. And delimited something we are having that problem name. I'll explain that. Yeah, this is what 2010% preference issued 2 months back for purpose of buyback. A very important problem this is. This is, I think, a delimited problem. Yeah, that's correct. I remember. So it is given. We don't have that in the study our charms material. So this is an important model. You make a note of illustration number 3, page number 4.14 and 4.15. Please remember, I have also shown you amount to be transferred to CRR, nominal value of buyback minus nominal value of fresh issue. Then you'll be getting amount to be transferred to CRR. You know, most of you, we have learned in redemption of preference shares, amount to be transferred to CRR. Okay, this is very important point. Amount to be transferred to CRR. I think so many problems we are having this. Only in this problem, I think in study material, this particular formula you are having. I've also given illustration 3. This is ICAI study material. Illustration number 3, delimited problem. Come on, tell me how to remember. Amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to there in the opening. First one, nominal value of buyback equity shares. Here, amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to nominal value of buyback of equity shares minus nominal value of fresh issue for buyback. Fresh issue for what? Buyback. For buyback shares, you went for fresh issue, not for generally. You went for fresh issue. Normally, a company, when it has gone for buyback, you cannot go for fresh issue of equity shares for 6 months, up to 6 months, except you can go for issue of bonus shares. Those things we work out, we discuss in the coming classes. Okay, so this is all about. So today we need to write the entry, learn the entry. The entry now, I think you all are aware of the entry now. Which reserves for, you have to use the free reserves. So I told you free reserves here. Out of free reserves means those reserves which are available declaration of dividend as per latest audited balance sheet. So I'm using the word revenue reserve, if name is given, or profit and loss account at R2, here for this particular chapter we will be discussing later on. For this particular chapter, the free reserves including security premium only for this particular chapter. Okay, that we discuss later on. And note, this capital redemption reserve you learned in bonus shares also, can be utilized only for issuing, fully paid bonus shares to members. Capital redemption reserve can be utilized only for issuing fully paid bonus shares to members. Clear to all of you? This is what is an important point. So this is one of the objective, that when company is going for buyback of shares, they need to create CRR, capital redemption reserve, to the extent of, I repeat once again, when you're going for buyback of shares, you need to create capital redemption reserve to the extent of nominal value of buyback of shares. Okay, one more point just I wish to give you, just a minute my dear friends. Here I wish to give you, this is note 1, note 2. Free reserves, I have told you orally, just I am giving in writing. Free reserves means such reserve which as per latest audited balance sheet of a company available for distribution of dividend. Available for distribution of dividend. Then third point, in explanation, I have told you free reserves include security premium for this particular chapter. In explanation 2 of section 68, free reserves include security premium. When problem comes, I'll explain. In explanations 2 of section 68, free reserves include security premium. In explanation 2 of section 68, free reserves include security premium. Clear to all of you? Now, then today's class, so far whatever you have discussed, today I have started with point number 1. Today's class, general entries for buyback I have explained you. And now today we will be discussing point number 2, just for you to have a clarity of thought. 3 sources of, this is for explanation of logic, 3 sources of funds, 3 sources of funds for buyback. Three sources of funds for buyback. 1, free reserves or securities premium. That is why I said free reserves including security premium. But to avoid confusion, this has been mentioned as per section 68. The same thing we are discussing here in the classroom. Clear to all of you? I am not giving you the section actually. They have given like a section 68 subsection 1. If you are interested, you can write 68. So they said free reserves, 3 sources of funds, free reserves or security premium, means free reserves including security premium also we can say. Then third point, proceeds of any shares. Or other specified securities. We had discussion on that. When you are buying back equity shares, you cannot go for issue of equity shares, you have to go for preference shares or other specified securities. Means I told you it is also called hybrid investment. I have given an example of debentures. I have told you specified securities. This also we have discussed. Okay, now, sir, I've already told you, when you're going for buyback of equity shares, for funds, you want to go for issue of shares, you cannot issue equity shares because there is no financial sense in this. Either you can go for issue of preference shares or debentures. This is what an explanation for this. This explanation for this. Note. When you are going for buyback of equity shares, whatever I explained, just I'm writing here. When you are going for buyback of equity shares, for proceeds of any shares means preference shares. Comma. Proceeds from other specified securities, say debentures. Everything I am explaining in detailed manner. When you are going for buyback of equity shares, for proceeds of any shares means preference shares. Proceeds from other specified securities, say debentures. Clear? So these 3 points. Now, sir, what is the logic for this? Why you need to? What is the logic of this? 3 source of funds for buyback. Pre-reserves, security premium, proceeds of an issue. The entry we have learned here, I told you, revenue reserve account at R, P&L account at R to CRR, no? What is it I said? Amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to nominal value of buyback of equity shares, or amount to be transferred to CRR is equal to nominal value of buyback equity shares minus nominal value of fresh issue. I'll give a small example, logic behind this, why you should go for it. There should not be any effect whatsoever to the creditors of the company to whom the money is to be paid. We have discussed companies having enough funds, they can go for buyback. When you're going for buyback using the funds, you're reducing the share capital. What about the interest, or what about the interest of creditors? How you will be going to safeguard the interest? That logic I'm explaining. This logic I've explained you in redemption of preference shares also. Same logic I'm explaining. When company have, when company have enough funds, this is for only understanding. This logic for understanding. When company have enough funds, when company have enough funds, say when you're going for buyback, what happened? Buyback reduces share capital to the extent of buyback. Clear? So This is on the liabilities side. Okay, then, so I told you when you are going for buyback of shares out of companies having enough funds, enough funds means enough funds, you are having also, you are having enough reserves, like free reserves. Then what happened? Decrease in revenue reserve and securities premium. Why? Because you are creating CRR, no? First we go for revenue reserves. If it is not sufficient, you can go for security premium. I told you free reserves including security premium for this chapter, but it is not the case for redemption of preference shares. There we will be using the word free reserves means excluding security premium. Here we include security premium. Please remember, decrease in revenue reserves and security premium, because what happened, nominal value, to the extent of nominal value of buyback unit creates CRR, no? So this decrease in revenue reserves you will be transferring to which accounts? CRR. So it is nothing but creation of capital redemption. So this is nothing but no change in reserves and surplus. No change in reserves or surplus. Say for example, 5 lakhs is the nominal value. So which is decreasing? Say 5 lakhs. Decrease in revenue reserves. I said 5 lakhs. And the brackets means decrease. And here CRR 5 lakhs. So there is no change in reserves and surplus, no? So now on the liability side you can see that share capital has been reduced. That's fine. Revenue reserves decrease, including if at all security premium also you are using. Otherwise revenue reserve will decrease. It is in reserves and surplus column. No change means 5 lakhs decreasing, 5 lakhs increasing. 5 lakhs decreasing, 5 lakhs increasing. I am giving an example. Say this is 5 lakhs buyback nominal value, say 5 lakhs rupees. This is rupees. Clear? So now what happened? Balance sheet, which is decreasing liability side, overall decrease in balance sheet liabilities by 5 lakhs, no? Now coming back to asset side. This 5 lakhs, what I do on the asset side, bank balance reduces for making payment. Bank balance reduces for making payment. How much it reduces? Tell me. 5 lakhs. So tell me, is there any effect in balance sheet liability side? Balance sheet is there any effect in balance sheet? No. Capital structure is not affecting. Buyback 5 lakhs is decreasing, bank balance 5 lakhs is decreasing, and here decrease in revenue reserve and increase in capital redemption reserve. Clear to all of it? This is the logic. So now the Companies Act is safeguarding. So somebody is going to ask, Arey, how you can buy your shares, that amount you can make payment to us. The creditors will be asking, our debenture holders will be asking, why can't you make a payment to us? Then company people say, what is your problem? Why, what is your problem? The reason is that, see, we are going for buyback of shares 5 lakhs. Our bank balance is reducing. Then the people may say that, are this bank balance you could have made payment to us. Why you are buying your own shares? They say that this 5 lakhs, by following the provisions of the Companies Act. What is the provisions of Companies Act? I am creating CRR. Sir, by creating CRR, what is going to happen? They said that, look at this. If my revenue reserves, this revenue reserves, if excluding security premium, I'm talking about revenue reserves. This revenue reserve had I not used for creating CRR, this revenue reserve is available for declaration of dividend. This is 5 lakhs rupees which I have created the revenue reserve. I could have used it for making payment to shareholders towards dividend. Now that I am blocking, no. How I am blocking? This revenue reserve, if I don't block, this is useful for, this revenue reserve has to be used for making the payment to shareholders, equity shareholders in the form of dividend. That amount I am blocking. To the extent of buyback shares, I am blocking that revenue reserve. I am creating a CRR. The CRR is like untouchable for dividend. Untouchable means CRR cannot be used for declaration of dividend. That I am blocking. When I am blocking that 5 lakhs, what is your problem? That means the 5 lakhs which otherwise available in the form of bank balance to shareholders in the form of dividend, that I am blocking now. That amount, instead of making payment to shareholders in the form of dividend, I am using that for buyback of shares. What is the problem? So to indicate to the outsiders, see, this is what CRR has been created through the extent of nominal value of buyback of shares. This is what. This is the logic. Okay, if I don't have bank balance, then what I do? If I don't have bank balance, just for explanation's sake, if I don't have bank balance, what I do? I sell investment. By selling investment, cash increases. Then cash decreases, making payment to for buyback. If my bank balance is not sufficient, I'm selling my investments. When I'm selling investment, current asset will be down, and by selling investment, you are getting cash. Cash is more. That cash I'm making for payment towards buyback. Clear? This is the logic you all should understand. Okay, I think this logic is enough for you to understand. Then today's class, the logic we have learned. Now today's class, it is important that we are having problems are two types here. Without three test, with three test. For you to remember, otherwise you'll be having confusion. So without three test, with three test, this is important. I'm coming as a model 1, without three test, model 2 with three test. Okay, so we proceed one by one. And just a minute, my dear friend. So what are those three tests we will be seeing now? Sir, what is the meaning of three test? Why should we go for three test? What is the meaning of without three test and what is the meaning of with three test? Just a minute. Yeah, here I have not written. I'm searching for pen. Without three test, with the three test. Sorry. So what happened in the problem? Sometimes they will be giving you the number of share that has been bought, means bought back by the company. Their own share they bought back, and they say that they passed a resolution and articles of association is authorizing to go for buyback, and they pass a resolution, and that particular number of shares purchased is as per the provisions of Companies Act. If that is the case, this three test question does not arise. So here I just let me explain, then I can go for it. In model 1, how to know three test not to be applied? This is very important point. Please pay attention. How to know three tests not to be applied? First, let me explain three tests, then we will be knowing what is three test. How to know three tests not to be applied? Three tests not to be applied. That is point number 1. How you will be knowing it, sir? If a question says that, if a question it is mentioned that the company wants to buy back, say, 25,000 equity shares of 10 rupees each at 20 rupees per share, and it is authorized by articles, and such buyback shares by the company is also within the Companies Act, three test is not required. I repeat once again, if a question it is mentioned that the company wants to buy back so and so number of shares, say for example 25,000 equity shares of 10 rupees each at 20 rupees per share, that is the market value, face value 10 rupees at 20 rupees, and it is authorized by articles, and they passed a special resolution, and such buyback shares by the companies also within the Companies Act, then no need to apply three test. Okay, so that let me give you first clear. If a question everything is in writing means it will be useful whenever you are having a doubt, you can refer back to that. If a question it is mentioned, that the company wants to buy back the company wants to buy back 25,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each at the rate of rupees 20 per share, and it is authorized by articles, and such buyback shares by the company is also within the Companies Act 2013. Then three test application not required. So initially I'll be explaining few problems on when three test application is not required. What is this retest? I'll explain now. I told you three test not to be applied if a question it is mentioned that the company wants to buy back. That means the number of shares to be bought back has been mentioned, and it also authorized by articles, the post resolution, and that number of shares is also as per the. That means three tests not required means they have already applied three tests, they have already calculated. For us to not to, for doing the problem, we need not apply three tests. They themselves said it is within the limits of Companies Act. We are having three tests popularly called as shares outstanding test, reserves test, debt equity test. We assume that they have already applied that test. Why three tests not to be applied for problems? Without three tests means when the problem is like that, it is being as per the Companies Act 2013 provisions, means they have already applied, we need not again apply again. The number of shares that has been given is already satisfying the conditions. So then three tests is not to be applied in the problem. This is very important point. But this is point number 2. This I am giving as a model 1. Model 1. Now model 2. How the same question with bit of difference. What is model 2? I told you. Applying three test. How to know? Here I told you how to know three tests not to be applied. Model 1. Model 2. Applying three tests, how to know? What happened? The same question, what he will be doing that? The company wants to buy back 25,000 equity shares of 10 rupees each at 20 rupees per share and buy back shares duly authorized by its articles up to same. But comment with your calculation whether buyback of shares by the company is within the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Or they may ask you to calculate maximum permissible number of equity shares, then three tests are to be applied. So when we need to apply, okay, the question will be same. Question will be like this. The company wants to, whatever I have explained, I am writing. The company wants to go for buyback. I'm not asking you to copy down in the notes, but just pay attention to that. The company wants to, if you wish, you can even copy down us. No problem. The company wants to go for buyback. I hope you all are following, my dear friends. The company wants to go for buyback of 25,000 equity shares. 25,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each at the rate of rupees 20 per share. At the rate of 20 per share. And buyback shares is authorized by articles. Authorized by articles. Comment with your calculation. Comment with your calculations. Whether buyback of shares comment with your calculation whether buyback of shares is within the provisions of Companies Act. Of the Companies Act 13. Or the question will be like this, or calculate maximum permissible number of equity shares. Then three tests are to be applied for calculation of number of shares to be purchased as buyback. Calculation number of shares. What is the number of three tests, sir? The three tests are number one, shares outstanding test. Shares outstanding test. Second one is known as resource test. Third one is known as debt equity ratio test. So the most important is after going first these three tests, least of the above three tests is maximum number of shares to be purchased for buyback. List of the above three tests is maximum number of shares to be purchased for buyback. Clear to all of you? The three tests are shares outstanding test, resource test, debt equity ratio test. So list of the above three tests is maximum number of shares to be purchased for buyback. Once if you know the number of shares purchased to be buyback, the journal entries will be same. Please note entries for buyback is same for model 1 and model 2. If you don't have clarity, definitely you'll be having exam. Even while me explaining that, you will be, sir, why you are applying 3 tests, and that is the reason why. Just I thought of, even though lot of theory I'm explaining, but these all are useful if you are able to have a clarity of this theory part. Definitely you should be able to do it. Even the previous chapter of this one, NBFC also, I've explained a lot of theory. The theory, that topic is practical unless you know the terminology which you generally go for, into the practicality of it, that you won't be able to know it. That's very, so many things we have learned, and so many, but having said, the theory to the extent which you can understand has been explained, and it has been also given the material. So why the problems has not been given? Just to say that this is what the a kind of a structure of the chapter has been provided to you. Boundaries of the chapter has been to what extent you can go for this. Similarly, this in some areas, like in bank accounts, you have seen theory, understanding the theory, working out the problems. Similarly here, understanding the theory, working out the problem. There in previous chapter, theory plus problem, exclusive theory, no problems. The two things. So I think these two things you need to balance. You need to have a balancing act. So, and let me tell you clearly that every chapter is not catchy. I think I've been telling right from foundation level to most of you. Every topic is not catchy, that by looking at the chapter like you feel, I can do it. It's not like that. There are some chapters you need to sit once, twice, thrice, or 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You need to sit before that, and you keep on repeating it, listening to it. Then you will be able to know why we are doing it. Okay, now these things I have spent some time, because if it is a live class, I think I can able to tell you, I can able to see your facial reaction, and definitely we can go for discussion till you satisfy. I keep on telling, but this process is bit difficult for me to know, to judge to what extent you are good, to what extent you are not good, and understanding, absorbing whether I'm able to connect to you or not. Frequently I myself will be having some sort of taking my own feedback, because I'm explaining, and sometimes I listen to myself, like there are any fine tuning points I need to make, I need to do. I've told you in group 1 also, difficult for me even sitting on the screen, small screen, and looking at the book, sometimes calculator, and copying down, writing it. It's not that easy. Like, it's not a live class. We can big board, you people will be there, and I can go for, you can give the calculations and etc. So the theory, why we are going for, when you need to have a 3 tests. Come on, simple. When in the problem as I told you here, I told you what is that, the company wants to go for buyback 25,000 equity shares, but the question is, comment with your calculation with the buyback of shares is within the provisions of the company act or not, or calculate maximum permissible number of equity shares. Then we need to apply 3 tests. The 3 tests, the least of the above 3 tests will be taken as a basis for maximum number of tests. What is shares outstanding test? What is reserves test? What is debt equity ratio test? I have given brief idea. We will be discussing how to approach to this, how we need to find out the values on these 3 tests, the pro forma, etc. When a problem comes, we will have a discussion on that. Okay, so my dear friends, this is all about your today's class, the theory part. But I said entries for buyback is same. Now I told you model 1, when you don't need it, because himself has given in the problem that question is mentioned that company wants to buy back 25,000 10 shares, 10 of 10 rupees, say 20 rupees per share, authorized by articles, and such buyback shares by the companies also within the Companies Act 2013. Then 3 test application is not required. He himself has given number of shares, and that number of shares, purchase of number of shares is satisfying the Companies Act 2013, means within the provisions of Companies Act, no need to go for applying the 3 tests. That is why the problems I have been working out initially, model 1 without 3 tests, model 2 with the 3 tests. Okay, so with this today's class, I'm concluding. We next class we start with the problems. I think I hope you all are following. I can go for a continuation, but it may be taking half an hour, so it will be lengthy session. I'm cut shorting here. The next class I'll be coming straight away with problems. Right? Thank you, my dear friends. God bless you all.